What if I told you that the United States isn't just struggling, it's repeating a historical blueprint that has destroyed three global superpowers in the past 500 years? And that blueprint isn't vague, it's precise, stage by stage, decision by decision. By 2025, we're already deep inside it. Think about Spain in the 1500s, the richest empire on earth, gold and silver flooding in from the Americas, armies across 4 continents. They thought money meant power. They thought conquest meant security. Within a century, it was gone, bankrupt, irrelevant, a shadow of its former glory. Then Britain, the empire where the sun never set, commanding 25% of the world's land, the pound sterling is the global currency. World War I, World War II, mounting debts, collapsing reserves, loss of colonies. And within decades, Britain went from invincible to dependent, from global dominion to a cautionary tale. And the Soviet Union, nuclear weapons, satellites, armies everywhere. Yet in just 900 days, it imploded, not from invasion, not from defeat, but from economic exhaustion. Stage by stage, they hit the same dominoes: military overreach, currency problems, death spirals, production collapse, social decay, loss of global influence, and sudden implosion. Here's what should terrify you. The United States has already completed 5 of the 7 stages, not approaching them, not flirting with them. We're in them. Military bases in 80 countries, trillions of dollars printed, social trust collapsing, productivity hollowed out. Stage 5 is underway. Imagine a country that prints money like water, borrows like it has no tomorrow, and spreads its military across continents it can barely sustain. The foundations are cracking beneath the surface. Everyone sees the cracks, they just pretend they aren't there. But Stage 5 isn't the end. Stage 6, loss of reserve currency status, is already peeking over the horizon. Trade partners looking for alternatives, allies hedging, the dollar slowly losing its grip on the world. And Stage 7? That's when history tells us the collapse hits like a thunderbolt. The question isn't if, it's when. Let's peel back the curtain and see exactly how these empires fell, and how the U.S. mirrors every step. Stage 1. Military overextension. Spain in the 1500s had armies and fleets on 4 continents. Philip II spent half the kingdom's revenue just trying to keep them afloat. Every war drained silver faster than it could arrive. Britain? By 1900, its troops were stretched from India to Africa, from the Caribbean to China. World War I almost destroyed their economy. The Soviet Union? 15 to 20% of GDP vanished in military spending. And the U.S.? Over 750 bases in 80 countries, troops stationed in 150. If China, Russia, Iran, and some rogue hotspots all erupt at once, our response would crumble under its own weight. Stage 1 is check. Stage 2, currency debasement. Spain mixed copper into silver coins. Britain overvalued the pound after World War I. The USSR's ruble was worthless outside its borders. The U.S. hasn't mixed metals, but the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1971. Trillions of dollars printed in the last few years alone. Different mechanism, same result. The value erodes. Stage 2 is check. Stage 3, debt spiral. Spain defaulted repeatedly. Britain borrowed endlessly. The USSR ran out of cash. Today, the U.S. owes $36 trillion. Interest alone is nearing $1 trillion annually. Deficits grow even in peacetime. This isn't borrowing to invest, it's borrowing to survive. The math doesn't lie. Stage 3 is check. Here's the terrifying part. Each of these stages compounds the next. Military overreach drains money, debasement destroys trust in the currency, debt spirals accelerate collapse. History doesn't forgive shortcuts. Every empire that ignored these warnings paid the ultimate price. But we're not done yet. Stage 4 is creeping in silently, the loss of productive capacity. Stage 5, social decay, is already shaking the U.S. to its core. And history shows, once Stage 6 hits, the collapse isn't gradual, it's a lightning strike. Stage 4, the silent killer of empires. This is when wealth stops creating more wealth, and production dies while consumption explodes. Spain had the richest mines in history, yet it produced almost nothing. Nobles refused to work, agriculture stagnated, industries collapsed. All the silver flowing in went straight out to pay for French wine, Italian silk, Dutch goods. Britain? Manufacturing declined after World War I. Factories closed, colonies slipped away, the economy hollowed out under debt and overstretched commitments. The Soviet Union imported grain while owning some of the planet's most fertile farmland. Modern parallel? The United States? Look around. We design, we innovate, we consume, but we don't produce. Critical industries like steel, electronics, even essential medicine depend on imports. Our trade deficit exceeds $800 billion annually. Dollars flow out, goods flow in, and productive capacity at home shrinks. Just like Spain, when the inflow stops, we're exposed. Stage 4 is check. Stage 5, social decay. This isn't abstract, it's visible in the streets, the schools, the workplaces. Trust in institutions is at an all-time low. Homelessness and crime rise. Drug overdoses kill over 100,000 Americans annually. Fertility rates collapse. Political dysfunction makes meaningful reform nearly impossible. The best and brightest are leaving or opting out entirely. The foundations of society are fraying before our eyes. Stage 5 is underway. But here's the scary truth. The pattern doesn't stop at 5. Stage 6 is the erosion of global dominance, the loss of reserve currency status. Allies begin hedging. Trade moves to alternative currencies. Gold buying surges. We're already seeing the first cracks. BRICS nations trading in yuan and rubles. Saudi Arabia pricing oil in yuan. The warning signs are subtle but unmistakable. Stage 7, the final, sudden collapse. Not gradual, not negotiable. History shows it happens fast, overnight, sometimes in less than 3 years. One day, a superpower exists. The next, it's a cautionary tale. Spain, Britain, the USSR, all vanished in their own way. And the US? We're sprinting toward the same cliff. We've traced the path from Spain to Britain to the Soviet Union. Now, the question everyone fears, can the United States avoid the same fate, or are we already trapped? Stage 6 is already creeping in. Allies diversify, trade partners hedge, the dollar's dominance is questioned. China and Russia trade in yuan and rubles. Central banks buy gold. The cracks are widening. Stage 7, the final implosion, is the natural consequence of completing the first 6 stages. History is merciless. Once the sequence is locked, collapse is not gradual, it is sudden. Imagine a night when markets panic, interest payments skyrocket, military commitments become unpayable, social unrest explodes. Overnight, the superpower becomes a cautionary tale. The dollar loses its reserve status, imports halt, supply chains freeze, confidence evaporates. 3 times in history this has happened: Spain, Britain, the USSR, and each empire believed they were different. Each empire believed they had time. Each empire was wrong. The math doesn't care about exceptionalism. Technology won't save us. Patriotism won't save us. Printing more money won't save us. Ignoring the warning signs only speed the sequence. Since 2020, every stage has accelerated. Debt surges. Printing presses run non-stop. Military commitments spread thinner. Productivity shrinks. Social trust erodes. We are not walking the path, we are sprinting down it. And here's the truth that no one wants to face. If stage 7 hit, the United States doesn't decline gracefully. It implodes. The reserve currency collapses. The empire becomes a memory. But understanding the pattern is the only way to survive it intellectually, maybe even to avert the worst. The answers aren't hidden in the future. They are written in the past, waiting for those who choose to read history without blinkers. If this analysis opened your eyes, if you want to track every stage as it unfolds, subscribe now. Because when stage 6 and 7 hit, you'll want to understand what happened and why no empire ever escapes the pattern. History is a blueprint. The question is, will we learn from it or repeat it?